The NASCAR Cup Series race concludes from Las Vegas Motor Speedway, and Hendrick Motorsports puts up a dominating clinic, and William Byron picks up his first victory of the 2023 NASCAR Cup Series season. What's going on, guys? It's Daniel, and welcome back to the video. I just got done watching NASCAR Cup Series race from Las Vegas Motor Speedway, the Pennzoil 400. We got quite a bit to talk about from this race, so let's go ahead and talk about it. So, before the green flag dropped in today's race, a bunch of drivers have to start at the rear of the field. Tyler Reddick, who didn't even get to practice and qualify, had to start at the rear for a rear engine change. Harrison Burton had to go to a backup car after crashing in practice after a lug nut basically went inside his car. And BJ McLeod had to go to rear for unapproved adjustments. And also, in this race, Josh Berry was substituting for Chase Elliott, of course, who will be out for multiple weeks due to suffering an injury due to a snowboarding accident. Chase Elliott will be out for a while, so Josh Berry substituted for Chase Elliott. So now let's get into the race. So at the start, you had Joe Logano lead the field from the inside with William Byron on the outside, and Joe Logano was able to clear for the race lead. It took a little bit for things to go, and then William Byron got around Joe Logano on lap 10 and took the lead from Joe Logano, and William Byron started to pull away and would dominate. Pit stops would start on lap 31. Before that, Kyle Busch actually got into the outside wall, was able to continue on. Meanwhile, pit stops start on lap 31 with Ryan Blaney coming in first, then Mark Truex Jr. coming in next lap, and green flag pit stops would end up happening. During the green flag pit stops, Noah Gragson unfortunately got a penalty for speeding, and he got multiple speeding penalties, and Ty Gibbs also got a penalty for having too many men over the wall. Once the green flag pit stops happened, William Byron was able to get the lead back and had the lead by Kyle Larson by a second. William Byron was able to pull a little away, though, from Kyle Larson near the end. Larson closed in a little bit, but coming off the final corner, William Byron would dominate stage 1 and win stage number 1. All the lead lap cars ended up coming into pit road, with William Byron winning the race off pit road. Tyler Reddick got blocked in by AJ Allmendinger and lost 10 positions and dropped for 11th to 20th position. Then on the restart, William Byron lead the field from the inside and Kyle Larson on the outside, and William Byron was able to get a really strong run on the restart and was able to clear Kyle Larson for the race lead. Then William Byron continued to dominate. There was some contact between Ty Gibbs and Josh Berry down the backstretch, and Berry got into the outside wall, of course, making his first start with Hendrick Motorsports, was able to continue on. As the race continued on, we started seeing green flag pit stops. Once again, Chris Buescher came in first for a few laps early. Then Mark Truex Jr. came in. Then most of the rest of the leaders ended up coming into pit road, with William Byron being able to hold on to the lead with Kyle Larson a few seconds back. William Byron would continue to dominate, and Joe Logano actually also got into the outside wall during that run. William Byron would come off the corner and win stage number 2. After that, all leaders would come down pit road, with William Byron winning the race off pit road. Kyle Busch also got blocked in pit by Tyler Reddick and got some damage on pit road and would drop from 12th to 15th. So on the restart, William Byron lead the field from the inside and Kyle Larson on the outside, and William Byron was able to get back up front and take the race lead. And then on lap 182, the first caution for incident came out in the race, and the third caution day will come out for some contact between Brad Keselowski and Joey Logano. You had a 3-wide battle going on where Kyle Larson was on the bottom of the track, and then Logano and Keselowski were next to each other, and Logano got into the outside wall after some contact, and Logano went through the grass and got a ton of damage, and unfortunately the damage, he fell out of the race. Wasn't a really good day for Logano to begin with, basically starting on the pole, and unfortunately ends up finishing last. Tough break for him. So after that, we would basically have all leaders come down pit road, with Denny Hamlin taking 2 tires and winning the race off pit road, which is interesting. And then Alex Bowman also was first off pit road with the guys with 4 tires. So we went back green on lap 190 with Denny Hamlin leading the field from the inside with Alex Bowman on the outside, and Denny Hamlin was able to clear for the race lead. Eventually, though, Kyle Larson got around his teammate Alex Bowman and got up behind Denny Hamlin, and a few laps later was able to pass Denny Hamlin for the race lead. Tyler Reddick got into the outside wall a lap later, but was able to continue on, and we continued on for a long time, and green flag pit stops started happening once again, with Denny Hamlin coming in first. Then Kyle Larson came in, and the rest leaders came into pit road. And after that, Kyle Larson had a pretty big gap over the rest of the field and started pulling away. Then William Byron passed Denny Hamlin with about 37 laps to go and was actually losing a ton of ground. But near the end, William Byron was starting to catch Kyle Larson in a pretty big way. It was down to 2 seconds. But I didn't think that William Byron was going to have a chance. Well, with 5 laps to go in this race, the race would completely change. With 5 to go, Aragon Rolla got into the outside wall and nearly spun out, got loose trying to pass a lap car in Cody Ware and spun out, bringing out the caution in this race. I'll be honest, I'm not sure if that warranted a caution, but the more I think about it, probably did warrant a caution, and NASCAR needed a little bit more entertainment near the end of the race. So that's probably why they threw the caution. So you got to decide if you were going to make a little bit of strategy. Well, Mark Truex Jr. actually decided to stay out. And while the rest leaders came down pit road, William Byron won the race off pit road over Kyle Larson. Larson, unfortunately, had a little bit of a slower stop than William Byron, and Larson was in second. So as we're coming to the final restart of the race, Mark Truex Jr. lead the field from the inside with William Byron on the outside, and we saw Mark Truex Jr. get a really strong jump, but William Byron was on the outside on the restart. William Byron got a really, really strong run, and they stayed side by side going into turn number 3, but William Byron was able to clear Mark Truex Jr. for the race and was able to start pulling away. William Byron got the lead as they were coming to the white flag and started pulling away. But during the backstretch on the last lap of the race, there was a big wreck that happened between AJ Allmendinger, Michael McDowell, Eric Jones, Brad Keselowski, and Ryan Preece all crashed on the backstretch on the last lap. But it didn't matter as it came off the final corner. William Byron puts up a dominating clinic and gets his first win of the 2023 season and gets his first win since Martinsville in 2022 in the spring. That's the third straight win for Chevy, and William Byron picks up his first win for Hendrick Motorsports in 2023. Look, I know a lot of people are going to feel about that last caution coming out, but let's be honest with ourselves. William Byron clearly had the best car in this race. That 24 car was really, really strong from the get-go, and Hendrick Motorsports just brought a lot of great pace. I thought at this point, whether it was going to be Byron or Larson winning, it was going to be a Hendrick car winning because the Hendrick cars were just so fast today. And William Byron had a really strong car from the get-go. And near the end of the race, I thought Byron was actually going to catch Larson and pass him. But still a great day for William Byron. Well-deserved win, in my opinion, and his first win in 2023. And a really big backup day for him because he really needed this good run after a couple not-so-great runs in Daytona and then, of course, at Auto Club. So great bounce-back day for William Byron getting the victory. So now we're going to go through the results of today's race, and then I'll give him my score for today's race. So William Byron picks up the victory. Kyle Larson finishes second. Man, I thought Kyle Larson was going to win this race near the end. If that caution doesn't come out, I think Larson hangs on to win, but still a really great bounce-back day for Kyle Larson, whose best finish, I think, coming into this weekend was an 18th place. So a really great day. Got a lot of stage points and a great day for Larson in general. Like I said, I thought he was going to win, but second place is a great recovery for Kyle Larson, his first top 5 of the year. The Hendrick cars are really fast and gets me confident for most of the rest of the year. I'm happy Larson can have a really great day and a great bounce back from Auto Club. Alex Bowman finishes third. Great day for Hendrick Motorsports in general. Alex Bowman was really fast today, too. It wasn't as good as Byron or Larson, but that 48 team has looked really strong to start this year. And that's, I think, Alex Bowman's second or third top 5 of the year, maybe. I'm not entirely sure, but a really great day for Alex Bowman in third place. How about Bubba Wallace finishing fourth? Bubba Wallace had a really good car. At points kind of struggled, but that 23 car was consistently in the top 5 and top 10 all day long, and they worked on that car, and near the end of the race, had a great finish. A mushing today, Bubba's failed to unfortunately finish the first 2 races of the year, so a much confident day for Bubba Wallace, and to finish top 5 is really, really great news for that team. Bubba was really good at this race last year. I know he had issues with Larson, but to finish top 5 is a great day. Kristen Bell finishes 5th. Great recovery from Kristen Bell, who had a vibration in stage 3. I think Bell had a top 5 or top 3 car most of the day, but still finished 5th is a great day for Kristen Bell. Really good run. How about Austin Cindric finishing 6th? I know Cindric missed a big one near the end of the race, but to finish in the top 10 is really great considering how much Penske was off, which is really surprising because Penske struggled most of the day. To finish 6th, great run from Austin Cindric at the end. Mark Truex Jr. finishes 7th. Truex had a top 5 car most of the day. Finished 7th, solid run for Truex. Stayed out, tried to get a little bit of strategy. Kind of fell back near the end, but he finished 7th. How about Justin Haley finish 8th? I know Justin Haley missed a big wreck near the end of the race, but to finish in the top 10, you got to be really happy for Justin Haley to get a top 10. And he had a top 20 car most of the day, was near the top 15 near the end, but he finishes 8th. Solid run for him. Kevin Harvick finishes 9th, once again carrying Stewart-Haas Racing. Harvick struggled early, but by the end was near the top 6 and top 7 near the end of the race. Was probably going to finish a little higher than what he did, but the finish 9th is still a solid run. And Daniel Suarez finishes 10th. Daniel Suarez struggled in the beginning of the race. It looked like they were maybe a top 16 or 17 car, but then eventually they worked on it. Were in the top 5 and 6. Fell back near the end, but to finish 10th, a great recovery regardless. Denny Hamlin finishes 11th. Denny Hamlin must have lost a lot of positions near the end because Hamlin had a top 2 or top 3 car as well at points in this race, but fell back near the end. Still a solid day for Denny Hamlin regardless. Got a lot of stage points. He finished 11th. Ross Chastain finished 12th. I'm a little surprised Chastain was as far off as he was near the end. He was probably a 6th or 7th place car late. It seemed like the Trackhouse cars just could not find the right adjustments, which is surprising considering they've been good at Las Vegas in the past. But Chastain finishes 12th. They got to work on some things to be a little bit more in contention like they were last week at Auto Club, but still not a bad day, but not a great day for Chastain. Ryan Blaney finishes 13th. Honestly, considering how far off Penske was, he'll probably take it. They struggled all day long. They found something near the end of the race, so they were near a top 10 car near the end of the race, and they finished 13th. Not a great day, but not a bad day for Ryan Blaney. Kyle Busch finishes 14th. Kyle Busch was characteristically off, and that's kind of surprising because Kyle Busch has been really fast all year long. And I know Kyle Busch really was at worst most of the day, about a 9th or 10th place car. But it just seemed like the RCR cars didn't bring a lot of speed this week. And this is the first time I have not seen RCR really show up on track. Hopefully they can bounce back next week at Phoenix. I'm not sure how he's going to do at Phoenix, but they've got the wins, so now they can work on some things to try to fix their stuff. But he does finish in 14th, but I thought he'd do a little better. Tyler Reddick finishes 15th. Reddick had an up and down day. I thought Reddick was probably going to be out of 10th place car most of the day, and he finishes 15th, which is decent, all things considered, for Tyler Reddick. Eric Almirola, after bringing out the second to last yellow or the last yellow in the race, he finishes 16th. Eric Almirola really struggled most of the day and ran top 20 near the end, near top 15 near the end, brought out the last yellow. He finished 16th. Brad Keselowski finished 17th. Man, what could have been for Brad Keselowski? I know he got involved in the last lap wreck. Keselowski had a top 10 car all day long, probably a 9th or 10th place car at points, and even a top 6 or 7 car, but 17th place, still finishing in the top 20. This year started off a lot better than it did last year, and Keselowski showed some great pace start the year, but he unfortunately finished 17th. AJ Allmendinger finishes 18th. AJ was quiet most of the day, running inside the top 20. He also was involved in the last lap crash near the end of the race. He finishes 18th. Eric Jones finishes 19th. Eric Jones in the top 15 a lot of the day. Kind of fell back though near the end of the race, so he scores a 19th. Corey LaJoie finishes 20th. Again, third straight top 20 finish for Corey LaJoie. This year is starting off way better for Corey LaJoie than it did last year. He's got to be consistently a top 20 team, and then maybe they have a chance to make the playoffs. They do got to run a little better than 20th, but not a bad run, all things considered. Chris Buescher finishes in 21st. Ty Gibbs, who struggled a lot of the day, qualified really well. Unfortunately, he struggled near the end and finished 22nd. Ryan Preece, who struggled all day as well, finishes in 23rd. Ricky Stenhouse Jr., who nearly clobbered Logano down on that crash, he finishes 24th. Michael McDowell finishes 25th. Harrison Burton finishes 26th. Austin Dillon finishes 27th. Very uncharacteristically slow. He's been fast all year too. Just no speed. They were 30th at points in this race and struggling with Austin Dillon. Chase Briscoe is also way off the pace, the worst performing Stewart-Haas racing car. Not a good start to the year for Chase Briscoe. He finished 28th. Josh Berry, who I think a lot of people should not have really high expectations for Josh Berry. I know people really did. I didn't expect Josh Berry to come in and set the world on fire, substituting, considering he had no simulator time coming into this weekend. This is the first time he drove a next-gen car, and he was at points inside the top 25, but you can't expect Josh Berry to always set the world on fire. He's definitely got a lot of talent. We shouldn't have been as high on him as we were coming into the weekend, but to finish 29th substituting for Chase Elliott, you got to give him props for that. Noah Gragson struggled all day long. He finishes in 30th. Todd Gillen finishes 31st. BJ McLeod finishes 32nd. JJ Ely finishes 33rd. Ty Dillon finishes 34th. Another terrible run for Ty Dillon. 35th for Cody Wurt. And the pole sitter, Joe Logano, finishes last in 36th place. So now, let's talk about the overall race as a whole, and I'll give you my score for today's race. Honestly, this is probably one of my least favorite Vegas races in a long time, considering the last two races at Las Vegas Motor Speedway have been really, really good and were two of my favorite races of the year in the Cup Series last year. This race was a little bit disappointing. There were points that was really, really good, but it wasn't the best race of the year. It had a soft finish to back it up and did help the race a little bit, in my opinion. But you have to understand that not every single race with a next-gen car is going to be a barn burner. Granted, it wasn't the most exciting, but sometimes you're going to have those races that are okay, and that's not the end of the world. It wasn't a terrible race by any stretch of imagination, but it wasn't a great race overall. So for my score, and I think a big factor into that was probably due to the cloud cover. I think the sun started coming out near the end. I think that did help the racing just a little bit. So my score for today's race, I'm going to give it overall a 6 to 6.5 out of 10. Like I said, probably my least favorite race of the year so far. I think even the Busch Slash maybe a little bit better, though that race was a complete wreck fest. So for me, this is my least favorite points paying race of the year so far, but a decent race overall. I'll give it a 6.5 out of 10. So, that is going to be today's NASCAR Cup Series race review from Las Vegas Motor Speedway. I want to thank you guys for watching. Please like and subscribe to the channel, notifications on to be notified when a video does go live on my channel. Follow me on Twitter, Facebook, and Instagram, and support me on Patreon as well. Links go down below over that, and comment below your thoughts below on today's race. What are your thoughts on today's race? Let me know below. Let me know your score in the comments below, and congratulate William Byron on picking up his first victory of the 2023 season. Let me know your thoughts in the comments below. Tomorrow on my channel, we're going to have potentially multiple videos on the channel. The main video we'll be talking about more on the Chase Elliott fall and a couple other stories that have come out, including talk about the F1 race and the IndyCar race as well. And we might also have the Xfinity picks out tomorrow, though I'm not confirming that. Then on Tuesday, we'll have potentially maybe Xfinity picks come out then. And then, of course, we'll have the entry list come out for Phoenix as well, and maybe other videos coming out throughout the week as well that you might be able to enjoy. So anyway, like I said, I want to thank you guys for watching today's episode, and I'll see you guys next time for some more great, awesome NASCAR content and other motorsports content on the channel like this. Take care, everybody.